What's up? I got a new camera, as you can see, and I've been cooking. I can't wait for you guys to see this. So this is what I call Worm Pile. It is a 60 card list with Ryu-Ge, swordsoul, zefra, 𝐒𝐮𝐥 super heavy, and 𝐒𝐤ng. It's awesome. I don't run any hand traps, no hand traps. And here's the reason. This deck is all just one card combos and two card combos. So you're gonna open a hand of just one card combos and two card combos, and you're gonna go, dang, I can play through a board of like 4 interactions, or even a board of 5 or 6 interactions. Sometimes even 7, depending on how your opponent interacts with you. I've done many games with this online so far, and I've done a couple of in-person games as well. In person, I played against 𝐒𝐮𝐥 and 2 Malice. Against 𝐒𝐿 I 2-0'd him, and then against Malice I 2-1'd the first one, and then I 2-0'd the second one. And then online, I played against a Ryzeal player that I 2-0'd, a Ritual Beast player that 2-0'd me because I got drolled 2 games in a row. And then I played against, I believe it was another Malice. I played against an Altergeist. I won both of those. It was like 8 or 10 matches that I did, and I only dropped the one against Ritual Beast. So this deck is kind of spicy, and I can't wait to show you guys. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. I'll yap during it. So, number 1, the monsters. Very important. I am running 3 Mistva. The Ryu-Ge engine is very important for this because it genuinely bridges every single archetype you're running together. Mistva itself is great. I'm running 2 𝐼nva. This is a brick. It's like the one tried and true brick of the deck, to be honest. Because with 𝐒𝐤𝐽, which I run one of, and 1 𝐒𝐤𝐽, 𝐒𝐤𝐽 can put itself back to search for the Dino's continuous spell. 𝐒𝐤𝐽 is a worm that you can just discard or banish off of something and bring it back with the field spell later. But because your entire deck is worms, you don't have to search this. But you do have to search 𝐒𝐤𝐽 and 𝐼nva because they're the only 2 Dino and Sea Serpents that you're running in the deck. But opening 𝐒𝐤𝐽 is fine. Opening 𝐼nva is not fine because it discards, it doesn't put itself back. Moving on, I'm running 3 Zefrath. This kind of just bridges into the zefra, no, it's the 𝐤𝐤𝐥 stuff, which I'm running 2 Zefranu. And also, another really good thing about the Zefrath is it acts as your high scale, while the Mistva acts as your low scale. So you can do your entire Zefra combo and then just go into the Mistva when you're done pin summoning. It's really good. Then 3 Zefraxi. This card has multiple utility. You can go into Xiaofeng with this, and you can dump it off of Dinglong to also go into Xiaofeng for Light and Earth. It's pretty good. Sometimes you can also use it to go into Synchro 10s with Zefranu and a level 4 that, Moye that gets impermed. So. And then for the super heavy stuff, I'm running 1 Big Benkei, 3 Wakaushi, 3 Motorbike, and 1 Soul Horns. The purpose of this is to just go into Danglong as a 1-card combo for the entire Sword Soul line. And also this entire Zefra line. A lot of these engines just kind of bridge into each other, which is really good for this deck, especially since all of your stuff is 1-card combos, so you can genuinely just open a hand of like Mistva, Wakaushi, like a Moye, and then just whatever else. And you can just go, okay, activate Wakaushi, effective Wakaushi, and they're like, okay, cool. You go, okay, effective Big Benkei to search. They ash it. You're like, okay, sick. I'm going to normal summon Moye, reveal Worm, summon, just do my combo anyway. Or you can go activate Mistva, pop, search, activate, effect, search one, banish one, dump one, and then just do your combo anyway. It's crazy. And you might ask, oh, but doesn't the super heavy stuff conflict because you get walked into worms, dinos, sea serpents, and worms off of the tinnies? Or doesn't it conflict because of the spells and traps? It's like, no, because this is the first thing you do. It never conflicts unless you're opening this crap after turn one and you've got spells, traps, and grave. That's the only time it conflicts, but usually you're able to make a board that your opponent just can't play through, and you just take it from there. For the Sword Soul stuff, I'm running one Wongyuan. You don't really use this a whole lot. You only use it to go into the rank 10s, and you have other ways to make the rank 10s, so this isn't super important. Plus, the discarding to summon itself is not great. 3 Moye, self-explanatory. With the Zefra field spell, you can actually use this to go into Xixiao, and then you go Chainlink 1 Xixiao, Chainlink 2 this, Chainlink 3 Oracle of Zefra, and you can stack your deck with the Mistva, draw into it, and then search off of the Xixiao. So now you have the entire Ryu-Ge line unlocked, and then you have more combos if you want to go into like Protos or something. It's so good. One Taya. I actually tend to summon Taya way more than I summon the long one. Reason being is because I'm running the Fathomer in here, which bridges the gap between Sword Soul and Ryu-Ge really well because it Fathomer, when you pop it, summons the Taya. So you pop it with either the Dino or you pop it using the Mistva. And then to round off the Sword Soul monsters, I'm running 3 Incredible Ecclesia. Just makes going second better, and it's just 3 more copies of Moye, so why wouldn't you run it? Onto the Tenyies, I'm running 3 Ashina, self-explanatory, 3 Vishida, self-explanatory, 1 Chithana, and 2 Adhara. Before, when I was testing the list, I wasn't running Chithana, and that was a mistake, because Chithana allows you to bridge into 8s, 6s, 10s. It allows you to bridge into pretty much everything. And there was a moment where I had a monk with a Ashuna on in graveyard, and I could have made a rank or a synchro 8 with the Chithana, but because I wasn't running it, I was like, damn, I have to make something else now. So I ended up making, I believe it was a Chao Feng eventually, and it was a Chao Feng for light and dark, because I believe I did the Ding Long combos somehow. It was really weird when I could have just went to Xixiao and then done a bunch of other crap. But one Protos, this card's great because if you know the matchup, you're just gonna search this and then auto win. One Fathomer, this you do the Ryu-Ge line to get to this, and you pop Imva and any other one to summon this. Then you go Mistva effect, tribute, summon, pop Fathomer in the field spell, and you just search for or you summon Taya from deck. And then for the 𝐒𝐤 I'm running 1 Suwani and 1 Jiaotu. If you want, you can cut the Suwani. This is kind of a flex spot. I'm running the Suwani because it is a level 4 that helps you bridge into other synchro plays when Danglong leaves the field. And sometimes it's just nice to have to as like an extra body, because normally you dump the Jiaotu off of Danglong to make it level 2, so that you can go into an 8 with Zefranu. Moving on to the spells, there's not a whole lot of them, to be honest. 3 Oracle of Zefra. This card's crazy. A lot of your deck just draws cards. For example, Moye. There's a couple synchros in your extra deck that you can draw cards with, especially if you want to play things like Coral Dragon. There's some flex in the extra deck that you can do. And you get additional effects when you do other things like XYZ summon and so on and so forth. Playing 3 Providence is just more Oracle of Zefra, or you use this to grab the counter trap. For Ryu-Ge line, I'm running one Warzone. If you wanted to, you could cut the Suwani for another Warzone, and that would probably be fine, but the ratios I'm running, you do not need to use... Like, you're not going to resolve the Ryuji stuff more than once, most likely, because it's kind of a one-and-done thing. 3 Ryuji Rising, it's just more access to your Ryuji engine. 1 Dino Domains and 1 Sea Spires. Now, I'm not running the Wyrm continuous spell. The reason being is because this format, the Wyrm continuous spell is kind of bad. It already is half bad because its effect is you put it on the bottom of your deck and you reduce a monster's attack to 0. And then its good effect, which is the other part of it, is that any monster that would leave the field is banished instead that your opponent controls. That card is just not very good right now when most of the top decks running around are able to run Shifter. So you don't want to double up on just useless interactions, especially if you're going against Malice. If you activate the Wind field spell against Malice, they just laugh in your face, and I wanted to avoid that. But both of these do something incredibly important. Dino Domains is a monster negate, and Sea Spires is a card bounce. So they both solve different issues. So, for example, you're playing against, like, let's say Malice. You can use Dino Domains to negate a monster effect. Or if you're playing against the Lab, they go set 5 pass, you go, okay, in phase, I'm gonna Sea Spires bounce something. And then for the last spell, I'm running 1 Emergence. I only have the 1 Emergence, and to be honest, I don't really know what I would cut to put in the other 2 Emergence, but if you can find space to run 3 Emergence, then you probably should, because it's a really good card, and it does help a lot with bricking. Not that this deck has an issue with bricking. Most of your hands are going to be 1 card, 2 card combos, and you're just going to be able to play through stuff. So you shouldn't be too worried about that. 1 swordsoul blackout, as well as 1 9 pillars and 1 zefra divine strike. These just kind of round out all of your important traps, because you can search 9 pillars off of Danglong or Zefranu. You can search divine strike off of Zefranu or Providence, and you can search blackout off of dang, what's his name? The swordsoul synchro level 8. I don't know why I'm blanking so much, but anyway, that's the deck. Moving on to the extra deck. I'm running 1 Shengying, self-explanatory. 1 𝐒𝐮𝐥 𝐌𝐞. This is another way that you can draw cards to go into the Oracle Zefra so that you can stack your hand with monsters you want. 1 Xiaofeng. I had a match against Malice where I made this for light and dark, and they just could not play, so they conceded. It was really funny. 1 𝐒𝐮𝐤, or excuse me, 2 𝐒𝐮𝐤. Ignore me. It's 2 𝐒𝐮𝐤. You should not be running 1 𝐒𝐮𝐤 in this list, I promise. 𝐒𝐮𝐤 is great. Most of the time you're doing the Moye combo with this to draw, search, and then usually if you have Oracle up, you're also searching for Mistfa if you don't already have it. If you do already have Mistfa, you just search for whatever you're missing. 1 Draco Berserker. This card's great. There are so many times where I end on it, though, and I have the option to make the Protos, and I'm like, well, dang, I don't want to lock out Dark because then I'm going to wipe my own Draco. So instead of making the Protos, I just try to go into the XYZ line. 1 Dragite, self-explanatory, spell trap, negates are really good. 1 Baxia. I kind of want to bump this to 2. There are times where I actually use this to shuffle back a super heavy pendulum scale so that I can activate Mistfa in pendulum scale, do that entire combo, and then use this to make Changying. It's so funny. Or excuse me, Xiaofeng. It is so funny. 1 Yazi. Self-explanatory. I actually wasn't running this as well in my previous list because I didn't really feel like I needed to make 7s, but there were so many times where I could make 7s and use it to break a board that I was going into, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna put Yazi in. It's just too good not to. 1 Danglong. self-explanatory. This card is just crazy all around, and it's part of the one card combo for the super heavy stuff. And even if you don't have the super heavy stuff and you can still make this, it's just a one card combo anyway. And then this is a Verudrus. Mine is in the mail. Shout out to Phoenix, by the way. I'm sure Phoenix will be in the comment section below. Phoenix is sending me a Verudrus, but this is Verudrus. And it's the only XYZ I run. One Reproducus, you just make this, and then call an attribute to turn Protos into so that you can go Protos effect. Nuke itself, it doesn't die because it can't be destroyed by card effect, and then your opponent's locked out of that attribute. Then one Shaman and two Monk of the Tinyi. Before, I was running SP in the extra deck, and you still can, like, if you really wanted to. And this is probably good information for those of you that are going to be trying out this deck. So the Tinyi cards. This is 9 exactly. So if you really wanted to, you could cut this package. And the upside is you can run non-engine if you want to. The downside is you're going to have less worms to reveal for Moye, to discard for Long and then theoretically you could have less combo potential as well. Like opening Ashina, you can go special Ashina, link it off, do your thing, and you can just search for another Tenyi if you wanted to, with the Misfa package, with the Ryu-Ge package, and it can allow you to just get to another synchro. But usually whenever I'm siding, I side out the entire Tenyi package, and I just sided 9 board breakers just to help. Because if they know what you're playing on, they're gonna be like, okay, D barrier, and you're like, shit, all right, cool, next game. So that is the extra deck, and I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna show you guys some combos real quick that you can do. I'm just gonna show you like one card combos and stuff, and then I might do some test hands. So an easy one card combo is with the Ryu-Ge stuff. Literally Misfa, the continuous spell, or it could even be the field spell if you really wanted it to. If you open just the field spell though, you can't actually make Misfa, you just make Verudrus. But if you open Misfa, you do this. You go, okay, Misfa effect. Pop itself, it goes to the extra deck. You search for the Warzone, and you go activate Warzone. Put it there. You're going to go Warzone effect for 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐽, 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐽, as well as the Fathomer. So here you're going to banish the 𝐒𝐮𝐽, or excuse me, discard the 𝐒𝐮𝐽, banish the 𝐒𝐮𝐽, and then add the Fathomer to hand. You're going to go Warzone, summon the 3 Ryu-Ges. And so now you're going to go activate Fathomer, pop 𝐒𝐮𝐽 and 𝐒𝐻𝐽. These will go to grave to summon Fathomer. You'll go Misfa effect to tribute the 𝐒𝐮𝐽, summon, and then effect to pop 2, and then place 2 Ryu-Ge continuous spells from deck. So you place the Dino Domains and the Sea Spires. Here, because you popped Fathomer, you go Fathomer effect to summon the Taya. You can go Taya effect. Normally I banish the 𝐒𝐻𝐽 because it's kind of important for what you're going to do later. So do that, summon a token, you go Synchro into Xixiao normally. So then you can go Xixiao 1, Taya 2. With Taya, you can really just dump whatever you want here. It doesn't matter too much, if I'm being honest. So normally, I'll just dump, like, a Yang if I don't need it. Just something, or even a Tenyi most of the time. Then you're going to search for the Emergence. You go Emergence here. You're going to search for the Protos. Oh, excuse me, this Misfa is up here in the EMZ, because it was something from the extra deck. So now you go Protos effect, banish 3 different attributes, right? Yeah, 3 different attributes. So we're going to go banish Fathomer. You could just do Kaiva and Imba if you wanted to, but actually you might want to keep the Imba in there because it's part of the combo you're about to do. You're going to banish a fire, an earth, and a water to summon the Protoss. Kaiva will act, or Hakva will activate the summon, and then you will go Imba to summon. Overlay these two for a Barudris, if you would like to. And now this is the unfortunate thing, because you have 2 darks, 2 lights. So if you use the Protoss here, you're going to wipe your Varudris. So in cases like these, you could just keep the Hakva and the Imba on the field, or you could go into a different XYZ, although it is kind of rough because what other Wyrm, Dino, Sea Serpent XYZs can you really go into here? So typically, if I do the Protoss line here, if I know that the deck I'm playing against isn't a deck that uses lights or darks, I just sit on the Protoss, because it's just like, whatever. Like, I've done my combo, we're fine now. And this was off of just 1 card, right? Now, if you didn't want to do the Protoss, if instead you wanted to grab something else, you could have grabbed a Moye or, like, literally anything else and been fine. But just off of this, you have a negate plus a destruction if you detach 2, a on-field negate, a on-field monster negate, and a bounce, and then Protoss if you decide to use Protoss. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 interactions off of just 1 card. Pretty nice. And now I'm going to show the super heavy line, because you're going to see the super heavy line a lot. And I feel like not enough people talk about the super heavy line for this deck. They're going to go scale Wakaushi, effective Wakaushi to summon. You're going to place the big Benkei from deck. Benkei is going to search. Soul Horns is going to equip from hand to the Wakaushi, and then Soul Horns will summon. Then you go Sync into Dinglong. You go Dinglong, Chainlink 1, and Wakaushi, Chainlink 2, to place itself in scale. Dinglong is going to search for Zefra. Normally, if you already have Zefra, then you could search for like another Yangzing or something, or just really whatever you wanted. Like if you have Zefra and you don't have Zefraxi, you might search for Zefraxi so that you can do the Xiaofeng line. So here you go, Dinglong effect to dump from deck. You're going to dump the Xiao 2. And then you're going to pin summon 1. Your Zefra is going to search for Prov. And then here you can Synchro into Xixiao. Xixiao is going to search for your Emergence. And the Dinglong is going to summon from deck. So normally in Fire format, when you would do this combo, you would summon the Sawani, and you would use the Protoss to pop the Sawani, and then this would summon another from deck. You don't really need to do that anymore, obviously, because Snake Eye is just not in the format nearly as often as it used to be. I'm still going to do that here, but I think that that's important for you guys to know. So here, you're going to go activate Emergence to search for a Wyrm, which is most of the time Protoss. And then you can Providence for your Zephyr Divine Strike. So now you can go activate Protoss, banish 3 attributes, summon. And then you can go Protoss effect, pop the Yangzing declare fire, or you can go pop Protos. It stays alive because it can be destroyed by card effects, and you call dark. And you, if you wanted to as well, you could flex out 𝐒𝐮𝐲 for a different 𝐻𝐤 attribute. It's just whatever is really popping up at your locals or whatever event you are going to be going to. But if you pop 𝐒𝐮𝐲 here, you can go 𝐒𝐮𝐲 effect. You can summon another zefra just to wall up. Or you can summon a Zefraxi and then just to like, if you've got like other things that you can do, you can use that Zefraxi to link summon or do whatever. So off of just this, you've got a Protos for fire, you have a counter trap, a 𝐒𝐮𝐤𝐢𝐚, and there are a couple of other lines you can do with this. This isn't the only line you can do with this. Like instead of searching the Protos, you can go for a long one, or you can take this a couple different ways. Like for example, if you backed this up, and let's say you already have full combo in your hand, instead of making the 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐢𝐚 off of the Dinglong, you would instead dump the Zefraxi off of Dinglong to make it a level 3 so that you can go 1-2 into the 𝐿𝐼𝐴ng so that they can't nib you. And that is very important because if there are 2 cards that really screw this deck, well, nib doesn't screw your whole day up because you can play through nib, especially if you open Misfa or have access to Misfa or just any extenders, which most of the deck is extension and or 1-card combos. But having this and preventing them from nibbing you is definitely going to save a lot of interaction for you. But nib and droll are like the main things that hurt this deck. So 𝐿𝐼𝐴ng is extremely important to make if you can make it. So now that I have kind of shown off the 1-card combos, I haven't shown off all of them obviously. Like, well, 𝐒𝐲 is not really a 1-card combo. Everyone knows 𝐒𝐲 combo though. So. And also I haven't shown off all the things that the Ryu-Ge stuff can do, but you know, if I were going to spill all of the sauce in this video, it would be an hour-long video. So, if you guys just have any questions or you have further things that you'd like to point out, just more stuff for people to, that you'd like people to know, feel free to put it down in the comments below. Also, make sure you like the video and subscribe. Helps me out, helps you out. So here, we're going to draw a hand, 2, 4, 5. This hand is kind of crazy, actually. Hold up. Okay. So we have swordsoul combo, we have super heavy combo, and we have Tenyi combo. So here, I'd probably go special Vish, Link, or Monk, and then special Adhara. Reason for this is because here you can safely go normal 𝐒𝐲𝐽, and then reveal, summon a token, do that play before you go for the super heavy line. Because as long as you don't activate a spell trap, you can do the super heavy line. And if they imperm the 𝐒𝐲𝐽, well, you have the Adhara to go into Dinglong now. If they don't imperm the 𝐒𝐲𝐽, or if they don't Ash or do whatever to whatever you synchro summon, then that means that you're safe to do the super heavy combo, which is great. Very good. So here I'm going to go 𝐒𝐲𝐽 reveal, summon a token. Let's just pretend there's a token here, because you're going to immediately go off into, if I'm going to be honest, probably going to do Dragite here, just to protect, and have it up. 𝐒𝐲𝐽 is going to activate effect, you're going to draw a card. You're going to draw another 𝐒𝐲𝐽. How unfortunate, but it's fine. You're going to go activate 𝐒𝐲𝐽, summon. Place from deck the 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐽𝐻. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐻 is going to search for the soul horns. If I can find it. There we go. You're gonna go Soul Horns Equip Special. And you're gonna sync these two off, and then place Yugioh as Chainlink 2 and Danglong Chainlink 1 to add. Because you already have the Zefranu, you can add the Zefraxi here, and it works out perfectly. And now, here's a funny thing you can do. You can go Monk and Adhara into Reprodokus, because now you're like, okay, I don't need the Adhara anymore. There's no point, so I'm just going to do this. So here, you're going to go Pin Summon 1, and then you could do the Zefraxi if you really wanted to as well. And then you're going to go Chainlink 1 Zefranu, Chainlink 2 Zefraxi. You're going to target the Zefranu, and then Zefranu is going to search for Prov. You can do Danglong here to dump, which, if I'm being honest, do I even want to dump here? Oh, you could even pin summon the other 𝐒𝐲, just because. Oh my god. Yeah, let's do that. Pin summon the other 𝐒𝐲. So you're going to dump the Suwani off of the Danglong. So then here, you can go these two. Zefraxi will get bottom decked because of its effect. You can do those into Xiaofeng. And you can do Danglong and 𝐒𝐲 into 𝐒𝐮𝐲, and then go 𝐒𝐮𝐲 effect to search for emergence. And this is really funny because it's like these are the instances where you're like, oh dang, having that extra Yangzing in deck really did help out actually. Where is my emergence? There it is. And here you can go emergence, search for Protos. And there's another line you can do with that hand, I believe, where instead of doing this, you go into, if I'm not mistaken, hopefully it works this way. Yes, Baxia. You can go into Baxia. You can go into the Fathomir line, summon Taya from deck, and do things that way if you wanted to. There are just so many lines with the deck. It's going to be difficult to play this deck at the most optimal way possible. So here you go Providence, you grab Divine Strike, and then you're gonna have Protos, banish 3 different attributes from grave. I typically just do like the Soul Horns, do like the Suwani, as well as the Dinglong. Oh, and you could have also summoned off of Dinglong if you wanted to. Like you could have summoned the Zhao 2. Just to have an extra body if you really wanted to. Oh, actually, I put it over here. And then summon the Protos. Now here you can go Reprodokus effect. Target the Protos, make it an attribute that you want. So if you're like, oh man, I'm worried about Ritual Beast, you just go, okay, Wind. Call Wind. And then, really funny thing, I'm pretty sure Zhao 2 lets you Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, so it doesn't. So it's the non-tuners that allow you to Synchro Summon as a quick effect. Okay, cool. But with this Zhao 2, you could just Synchro out the 𝐒𝐮𝐲 into something. Like a rank 10, or a Synchro 10, excuse me. So you could make these two if you wanted to. Not that you really need to. Like, with this board, you're kinda cooking. So you've got Counter Trap, On-Field Negate, nothing of a certain attribute, Spell Trap Negate, they cannot activate Earth effects. So, yeah, pretty good, right? Pretty good. Now, if there's one thing I haven't really showed yet, it's the Varudris line. And it's because, well, I like the Protoss line. Protoss line's pretty good. Because what's better than floodgating your opponent? You know? Especially if you know what they're on. And you're like, oh dang, you're running Blue Eyes, well, time to call White. Have fun. Okay, so we're gonna do one last test hand. That is an interesting hand, that's for sure. Alright. So, obviously, this is one of those hands where you're like, what am I looking at right now? There's the line is it's pretty obvious. You're just gonna be doing Sword Soul combo. So you're gonna go Long Yawn, discard, summon a token, sink. I'd probably sink into 𝐒𝐨𝐜𝐚𝐥 Long Yawn here just to get the additional draw. Because if you draw into what you need, you're like popping right now. So then you go normal Taya, banish the Long Yawn after burning them, summon a token, sink into Yugioh. You go Chainlink 1, Yugioh, Chainlink 2, Taya, and Chainlink 3, Long Yawn. You're gonna draw a card. That's crazy. Holy crap. Okay. So you're gonna draw a card, you're gonna dump. So to be honest, it's probably just dump Ashina. And then you are going to search. So probably search Emergence. And now here, you can do funky stuff. Because you don't have a spell trap engrave. You can go scale Wakashi, effect, summon. Place the Benkei. So I can find him. Benkei is going to search for the Soul Horns. You're going to equip the Soul Horns, summon, and then sink into Dengwang. Now here's the interesting thing. You're actually not going to place the Wakashi from extra deck. You're going to just leave it there. You're going to go Dengwang effect to search. Or Zefraxi. And then you're going to scale the Zefrath. So that now you can go Zefrath, dump Zefranu to your extra deck. So now you can go Pendulum Summon 1, 2, and you can go Chainlink 1 Zefranu, and you can go Chainlink 3 Zefraxi, targeting the Zefranu if you wanted to. So here you can go for the Providence. Also, you could have just gone Emergence to search for Moye, and then pin summon Moye instead of pin summoning the Zefraxi. All of this line is going to get you is you're going to have Xiaofeng or Earth, unless you didn't make this a tuner, and then you'd have Xiaofeng for Light and Earth. And then let's see, you'd have Xiaofeng for Earth. You could go Emergence into something, and probably synchro this and the other thing off. It's a process. I kind of want to try this out with the Moye instead, though, because it's kind of hot. So instead of making this a tuner, you just pin summon out the Moye. And then you go Moye effect to reveal the Zefraxi. Summon a token. And you go Moye and the token into Dragite. So then you go Moye effect to draw a card. Okay, that's not great, but it's whatever. Now here, you could go Zefranu and Dengwang into Xiaofeng because you pretty much have everything that you need. You don't really need anything else. So you can go Dengwang, dump the Zefraxi, and then just go 1, 2. Into Xiaofeng. Also, this emergence should be engraved now because you searched the Moye off of it. So now here you can go Providence, search for Divine Strike. And this is kind of funny because now that you have 9 pillars and Divine Strike, you can actually just use the 9 pillars to negate something and destroy your Xiaofeng if you wanted to. Like if you run into like an issue, uh, and the deck your opponent's on isn't like they don't really care about getting light and earth locked, then you have 2 in hand. So pretty cool board, right? The deck is so cool. Um, and the fact that you're able to just play through stuff because you have so much combo potential, like the deck ceiling is kind of crazy. If uh, if we had more spots in the main monster zone, you would be able to do insane stuff with this deck. But yeah, that's the deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know you guys' thoughts about the deck. And if you know any lines or cool stuff that you want people to know, or maybe I screwed up somewhere, make sure to let me and everyone else know down in the comments below. And we'll see you guys later, alright? Thank you for watching.